Okay, what is going on, good people? And welcome back to the Juggernaut Show. And today I got a guest with me today. Leo is back on my channel. What's going on, Leo? How you doing today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with wrestling right now. Like there's a
A
lot of
lot.
news broke out last week. Today we're going to be talking about Vince McMahon retiring, and we're also going to be talking about Triple H taking over as COO or CEO.
Um, no, Stephanie's the CEO. He's taken over as head of creative.
Yeah, head of creative. That's correct. Yeah, so he's going to be over head of creative now, which first we'll start talking about the whole Vince McMahon stuff. So let me pull this tweet up right here. So last Friday, Vince McMahon tweeted. He said, "At the age of 70, time for me to retire. Thank you, WWE Universe. Then, now, and forever, and together." So I was really shocked when this whole news broke out last week because like I thought I would never see this. I thought that, for him to retire, he was going to have to, pass away, which, is kind of sad to say. But, I thought that's the way he was going to retire. Or, with him to retire, he must be really, with all those allegations going on, it must be really
Yeah.
deep for him. It must be deep. But what are your thoughts on Vince McMahon's whole retirement?
The same thing as you basically said. Like, I didn't, never would have thought he would have stepped down at all. Like, I thought he was just going to keep going until he's dead, basically. But I would say the allegations probably have something to do with it or play a huge role into him stepping down because they're getting worse and worse as the time has been going on because they just said like they found $14 million unaccounted for basically. So that's one of the things right there. And then I don't know, I just feel like it's one thing that us fans has been wanting for so long, but we never thought we would get it. And now the time has finally come. So it's just
Yeah, it is crazy to see Vince McMahon retiring because, like I said, I never thought I would see it like in my lifetime. You know, um, and what does this like really mean with his like retirement? Does this mean like, I'm pretty sure we're going to see him here and there and stuff. Like maybe he might still have something to do with WWE a little bit.
mm-mm.
You don't think so?
No. Basically, once he stepped down, like all the duties, he has nothing to do with the WWE. Triple H and Stephanie are kind of like taking the majority of the roles right now. So basically, he's basically out the door because he has no say in really anything right now. And I think they said anything about him, it was like the shareholder. I think he was like 30%, but I think that went down even more. So he might not be having anything to do with him
Yeah,
for the
because
time
I'm not.
being.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. Like with all the shareholder and stuff, with all that kind of stuff that's going on right now, and apparently, there's some talks about they might be trying to sell to someone else, which I don't think they're going to sell the company. Like
No,
I really don't see that happening. Like I don't know who would want to do that. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe Fox would want to, or maybe like USA, or like NBC.
maybe, maybe.
But I just don't see Triple H, or like Stephanie, or them doing selling the company. Um, but I mean, people are like on social media like, yes, he's retiring, but like people are like kind of making fun of like yeah, he's finally retired. That is this going to make the product better? Like, do you think this is going to make the product better with him retiring?
I personally think so. I mean, with him stepping down, I mean, we might get something new and fresh. And Triple H is like one of the biggest minds in wrestling. He's a student of the game, if you ask me. And everybody that's left the WWE or whatever the case is, everybody said they had like a closer relationship to Triple H than they did to Vince because when they approached Triple H, he was always listening and giving them help or telling them what they should do to get them better. And when it was with Vince, he was more on the unapproachable side. So I feel like this is going to be a good thing for the WWE, especially as the talent, because you have all these people that left. Now you have some that might be coming back because of Triple H running things. So I feel like it's a good thing. And then with TV 14 possibly is coming back. If you went on Peacock, they actually had SummerSlam listed as TV 14. And the reason why some of the stuff hasn't been like it should be with Triple H is because they kind of want to finish what Vince's did before they move into like the whole Triple H era, which is gonna start at SummerSlam moving forward. So this Raw and this SmackDown and NXT is basically everything that Vince wrote still. But coming out of SummerSlam, it's gonna be everything that Triple H wants. So I mean, this is a good opportunity for wrestlers and us fans because we might get to see the people that we want to see get pushed or get these opportunities to be in bigger spots on on these shows. So it's really a good thing for everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, and also, you know, some people like look at more like with Vince McMahon, like, oh yeah, he's done more negative, you know, to WWE rather than positive. But like, if it wasn't for Vince, you know, we wouldn't have like, you know, we wouldn't have WrestleMania. WrestleMania wouldn't be what it is today. We probably wouldn't have the Great Attitude Era, you know, like, you know, probably
or the Ruthless Aggression
who
era.
knows it, or the Ruthless Aggression. I mean, who knows if WWE would still be around to this day? I mean, WCW could still be around, like if it wasn't for Vince. You know, because like I try to look at more. Go ahead. It looks like you want to say something.
Yeah, and just what you were saying, like give credit to where credit is due. Like, yeah, think of what Vince has done. He's created like a global phenomenon with WWE. WWE is still around. Some people, when this first became a thing, people didn't think it was going to be around for this long. But through everything, it's still here and it's still continuing. So I feel like in that regard, you do have to give credit to Vince McMahon for creating something very unforgettable. Like when people look back on this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you remember the time WWE was still going and it's still continuing to going?" I mean, that's one of the things you have to look at. I mean, despite the allegations and everything like that, you still have to give credit to Vince McMahon for doing something that in a time period where it didn't seem possible.
Exactly. And you know, Vince McMahon's, you know, he's not a billionaire for nothing. You know, like he's a smart businessman. Like he knew, you know, at the time, you know, when people go like, oh yeah, wrestling's not gonna be popular, and like, I mean, he made it popular back in the Attitude Era. I mean, you know, with the Monday Night Wars and all of that, and like his great feuds with like his great feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, like if there was no Vince McMahon, do you think we would have got, you know, the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Boss? You know what I mean? Like the great stuff that happened, you know? Who knows if we would ever got that? Or like you said, the Ruthless Aggression, you know, like him coming out, you know, on TV, you know, right, you know, when they transition, they go like Ruthless Aggression, you know, saying all those crazy promos, you know? So I mean, you gotta get, like you said, you gotta give credit where credit's due. You know, Vince McMahon, you know, he's made wrestling to what it is. I mean, you see AEW at this point, you know, with, you know, making more money, you know, being at the level that WWE is right now. I mean, maybe, you know, with a few more years down the road, you know, with AEW, maybe AEW could be at that point. But right now, there's nobody touching WWE. You know, at the point, like with the, you know, with all the sponsorships that they have, you know, how much money that they got, all the deals. Like, there's nobody touching WWE. And when people think of wrestling, you know, they go like, they constantly, you know, they refer to, oh, WWE. You know, they don't refer to like, oh yeah, WCW. I mean, maybe some people might, but
a few.
And like, you know, you don't hear people talking about, you know, I mean, you hear people talking about AEW, but like,
I mean,
you know, like the casuals and like the non-wrestling fans, you know, they like, oh yeah, they refer to WWE because that is what's more widely around the world, you know. And also, so what's your thoughts on Triple H taking over?
Man, when I tell you, I lost my mind when I seen this because Triple H was one of the reasons I got into NXT because he brought in these wrestlers that were known outside of WWE, you know, like your Adam Coles, your Finn Balor's, your Shinsuke's, your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayn's. These people were known outside, and he brought them and put them on a bigger stage. So the people that didn't get to experience them in Ring of Honor and stuff like that. Put them on a bigger stage to where a bigger audience can be exposed to what these guys and girls can do. And he's given us some great moments in NXT when it was black and gold. The storytelling, the matches, the way you built up to these matches, their character, their presentation, everything was on point. And then when they go to the main roster, it kind of fell by the wayside because Vince was getting a hold of these guys and women and kind of changing what everything about them, what made them so unique in NXT and even before they got to NXT. So I'm glad that he's kind of taken over because it's going to give the women and the men's the spotlight that they deserve, especially for some of the ones that we don't get to see much, that we wish we got to see more often, like your Ricochets or, Shinsuke Nakamura even, or getting these people that we want to see get to the top of the card, possibly because when they were in NXT, they were more like Triple H guys. So if you wasn't more of a Vince guy, it really didn't work out in your favor, even with the women's division. So I feel like with him taking over, it's going to benefit everybody because I feel like everything is going to get a rehaul. Everything's going to be starting to take more serious. You're still going to have your comedy stuff, but I don't think you're going to get to see as much of it because he's going to be focusing more on the seriousness. And even in some of the people who I've seen, like some of the interviews or like the backstage morale, that for the most part, everybody, he had like it was like a business meeting, and he said he was going to make wrestling fun again. And I definitely do believe he's going to make wrestling fun again. And he's always getting input from the wrestlers, asking them, what do you want to see? He's actually engaging with, the talent, and the talents are more drawn to Triple H because the mindset that he has, especially you've seen it with NXT. So I feel like it's going to be a way to benefit everybody. It's not just benefiting one party and not benefiting the other.
Yeah, exactly. And with the whole, with Vince McMahon, he was more for like, he was there for more like the, with entertainment, what I mean? With Triple H, he's there for like, he wants to benefit those wrestlers, he wants to make good wrestling and as well as good entertainment. But like he's there for like, he has more of the wrestling mindset because like, back when he first started NXT, it was great stuff, that was going on, when he was head of NXT, that was his baby, that was, he made NXT to what the great, taking over the indies, to doing, great stuff here, taking your Adam Cole's, your Roderick Strong's, your Shinsuke Nakamura's, your Samoa Joe. Like, I mean, they were basically, a supersized indie, at that point, when Triple H was, head of NXT. So I feel like this is going to be some great stuff when Triple H has full reigns, after, SummerSlam here, which SummerSlam moving forward. Because like he has a great creative mindset, he can do some great writing for television. So I feel like with him taking over is a great thing, and it's just going to impact WWE better. I mean, yeah, they'll probably there'll be some duds, here and there. I mean, not everything is perfect.
No.
And not everything is perfect for what AEW has done. So I mean,
No.
I mean, it's real life and stuff. I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like with like you said, with Triple H taking over, he's gonna make more wrestling fun again. He's gonna implement more of this, and I feel like when he takes, is he gonna be taking back over NXT as well, like helping right?
Yeah,
NXT?
I think he's gonna be taking over all things creative. So I think that's on the Raw side, the SmackDown side, and even in NXT. So I mean, I think all of them might get an overhaul at some point. I think following SummerSlam.
And I don't feel like it's going to happen like that. You know how when they were promoting NXT 2.0, it happened just like that. I feel like they need to do it slowly because I just don't want them to just go like, oh yeah, we're NXT Black and Gold again. Like I don't feel like it's going to be like that.
No,
I just don't. I feel like it's going to be better storytelling, better wrestling. Maybe. Do you think they could bring back the NXT Takeover name?
Do
Do you think that they're gonna bring back the NXT takeover, like the takeovers?
I can definitely see it. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I mean, with Triple H being back in charge, I think they might start calling them takeovers again because I still refer to them as takeovers. I don't know what people call them, but I'm still gonna call them takeovers.
Yeah, I still refer to them as takeovers as well because I mean, it's just so wired in their brains. Go like, oh yeah, it's NXT takeover, but then then as of right now, because Vince was in control, they took away the takeover name,
Yeah,
which uh, I hope if eventually they kind of revert back to black and gold
me
because
too.
I mean I'm just tired of this like Nickelodeon type of look or like
Yeah.
this kitty type of look for it. But I mean, what's your fondest moment? Like, what's your greatest moment that you've seen from like Vince McMahon? Like, yeah, the greatest moment you've seen from Vince.
So Vince McMahon, I mean, he's given us some great moments. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like his feud that he had with Stone Cold, legendary. That was a huge moment. He brought in some of these big stars that are continuing to be big stars, like your Rocks, your Cenas. You know, you can't say. I mean, they wasn't around with Triple H. Like they were competing against Triple H, but from a business standpoint, he created some big stars that we have in today. We have John Cena, you have The Rock, Stone Cold, Randy Orton, you have The Undertaker. These
Mm-hmm.
big household names. You have Rey Mysterio. Some people don't forget about Rey Mysterio, but he was back then with them. You
And he
know,
just had his 20-year anniversary.
yeah,
Also, it
yeah.
was
This past minute on Raw.
yeah, he
So,
just had his 20th anniversary.
hmm?
Yeah. Like I was saying, yeah, he had his 20th anniversary on Monday Night Raw, so that's a great thing.
Yeah,
And like you said, Vince is great at creating characters and stuff. Because you look at WCW, like say you take Stone Cold Steve Austin. If he was still around with WCW, do you think that WCW would still be around? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because I don't think that WCW was like the greatest at creating characters and stuff, like the over
No,
top characters. Because like because the Undertaker was over there for a while, do you think if he would never went to WWE, we probably would have never got the great Undertaker character,
no.
that is
Really,
today, or
we really
like.
wouldn't.
Or like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, would he still be stunning Steve Austin over there in WCW? You just really never know, and like that's what or like we would have probably never got the Rock, you know, with WWE. So I mean, like I said, you gotta give credit to where credit's due with Vince McMahon. I mean, people will look at him and go like, oh yeah, he's made WWE terrible, made it so watered down, so PG, but I mean, he had to do some of these things, because like it was all for the money.
It's always
Money.
about the bottom dollar.
It's all about the dollar, which is, I mean, I understand what Vince is doing, but like,
It's
you know,
not benefiting.
yeah, I mean, you're like, yeah, you can all this money be coming in, but like people will be crapping on your product for so long, like because like you might not think anything is wrong with your company when you're making all this money. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But yeah, do you have any more thoughts on want to talk about more about Vince McMahon and Triple H here?
So, with Triple H basically running things, I've been hearing some reports that he's going to be bringing back some of the wrestlers that he made famous. You have Tommaso Ciampa. He might try to do something good with him because he's running things. You have Johnny Gargano. He's already trying to contact Johnny Gargano, bring him back. Imagine thinking about SummerSlam, just spitballing here. You already know Logan Paul's facing the Miz. You already
Mm-hmm.
know Tommaso is in the Miz's corner. Imagine the pop that the crowd would get if Johnny Gargano came out just to have a stare off with Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster.
That would be pretty cool. Like I've been hearing rumors about people Triple H bringing back former guys from like Black and Gold brand like because like the reason why some of these guys didn't want to go to the main roster like your Adam Cole's or people like that is because they didn't want to be misused on the main roster because that's when Vince McMahon was taking over or in control. So with Triple H being in control, this can have more, bring back, like I said, bring back these wrestlers who left and stuff. And when contracts are up, and like some of these contracts are up in like 2024 or around
or
that time.
2023. Some of them in this. Some of them I think in this year. I think some of the wrestlers that he want to bring back is one of them is Daniel Bryan. Once his contract maybe expires, maybe that's a good way to bring him back. That would be crazy to see that. You have Adam Cole, you have Johnny Gargano. Triple H even wants to bring back Jon Moxley. Just imagine Jon Moxley coming back to the fold in WWE with Triple H running things. Because a lot of them that left, they all said the same thing. It was Vince McMahon not giving me enough time, always treating me like second fiddle. Where it's like if they put you in a feud, you're not really the focus of the feud. You're just playing the third wheel. So I feel like I understand why some of these people left. And now you have MJF, who's on the verge of probably leaving at some point. With Triple H running things, he might come over.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of factors here.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of feels like you know how you have with sports and stuff, with contracts, and this feels like real sports and stuff. Like, oh, people want to go over to AEW, people want to jump over to WWE. I mean, so you might see this like back and forth, like see where people are going. Like this kind of like free agency type of thing, which would be very interesting. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? As Triple H, being in control, but I feel like it's going to be for, like you said, it's going to be for the better. Triple H is going to make things more fun again. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. But do you have any more news you want to talk about that's, coming up this week, or, anything that you've been seeing going on?
I think as far as I know, they just added another match to SummerSlam this past minute on Raw. And that's a no disqualification match. It's a tag team. It's supposed to be Judgment Day versus the Mysterios, and now Rhea Ripley's back. So it's just crazy to see that match happening. I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
Let's see. And also, this weekend we also have Ric Flair's final match. That's going to be going on this weekend. Which, that is going to be interesting. I don't even know what's going to be happening with all that. So tonight we got AEW. We got Fight for the Fallen tonight. That's going to be interesting to see what happens with that show tonight.
Yeah.
What else we got? I mean, there's just so much wrestling going on, especially this weekend. I mean, we got SummerSlam this weekend. We got a lot of independent shows going on, like during SummerSlam.
You got Clash of the Castle right around the corner. You got All Out, and then now the new NXT pay-per-view that's going to be taking place the same day as All Out. So
I definitely check out NXT for this week because I heard
it wasn't all that good, to be honest. It wasn't all that good. I mean, I watched it. It's okay. It's okay, I guess. It just doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, just wait till Triple H takes over. The booking on NXT is going to get, or the storytelling on NXT is definitely going to get a lot better. Well, let's see. There was something I wanted to talk about, but no. Where was it? It was with. Oh yeah, and also the New Japan G1 Climax is still going on. They got some great stuff going on with that over in New Japan. I need to catch up on some New Japan stuff.
What's me going too. On with that. I've been collecting clips here and there, but not for the most part. But
yeah, I've been trying to keep up with most of the tournament. Like the tournament's been really good. I mean, if you guys haven't been watching New Japan G1 Climax, I definitely recommend checking out. It was Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenta from, I think it was the second night of the tournament. Definitely check out that. Like if you haven't been watching the tournament, like there's some. I need to catch up on this past weekend stuff. Like that was on July 23rd and the 24th. I need to catch up on those matches. But yeah, New Japan's doing a lot of stuff. We got a lot of AEW stuff going on right now. I mean, there's just a lot of things to talk about in professional wrestling, and it's like so hard to like actually keep up with everything because we're just one person. I mean, like, and this is, like you said, so much to stay up upon with professional wrestling.
It really is. It's just it's like for me, it's for me being a YouTuber. Just I'm doing Monday Night Raw the next week. The next day is probably NXT, then AEW, then it's Impact, and then Friday it's SmackDown, and then this weekend is SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly. So, and SummerSlam, I really don't know the whole card. Let me actually look up this card for SummerSlam.
It's a good card. It's a solid card. I will say that.
I'm gonna look up the card for SummerSlam. I'll let you talk for a minute here. Talk about what you want to talk about. Plug your YouTube channel if you want and stuff.
So my YouTube channel is Kicking It with Leo. It'll be down in the description below. We're on the road to 350 subscribers. So help me get there. We're almost there. Keep running up the likes, commenting, subscribing. I have more things on the way outside of wrestling, so you guys stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to start talking about horror. That's another thing I'm going to be starting on my YouTube channel as well. So if you love horror, you should definitely come through and check out the videos that I'm going to be uploading.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Okay, so I'm looking at the match card right now. So, like you said, you got the no disqualification match, the Mysterios, and the Judgment Day. That'd be interesting. Logan Paul and Miz. Like you said, you actually brought out a good point. With the Miz being with Tommaso Ciampa, and maybe you said, hey, maybe they bring back Johnny Organo at this show. Who knows? Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. A rematch from last year's SummerSlam. This is coming full circle.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. You got Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins. I think that's going to be one of the matches I'm really looking forward to on SummerSlam.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I was watching Monday Night Raw a little bit this past week, and I was watching like the first hour, and then I came back and watched like the last few minutes of the show, and I saw Seth Rollins coming out. Kind of doing that stare down with Roman Reigns. I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that's another teaser for another match happening, possibly by the end of the year.
Yeah, I would love to see Seth Rollins take the title because kind of fancy booking this here. Maybe around Royal Rumble time. Okay, you have Seth Rollins take the title. From one of the titles. I don't know if it would be both of them.
Yeah, I don't think they need to keep both titles. I thought they would take him off him before Survivor Series. Actually,
I could see that. But yeah, maybe you give Seth Rollins the WWE Championship, okay, around Rumble time, and have Cody Rhodes return, and have him win the Rumble. I don't know, if he'll be healed in time by then, but who knows? Maybe his recovery has been going good, but maybe have Cody win the Rumble, and you could set up for Cody and Rollins at WrestleMania,
night one,
or whatever night, any night works. Because I think that would be very interesting to do, and then maybe after that, have Cody Rhodes win the title, and then later on, a few months down the road or whatever, you can have Austin Theory or Theory cash in on Cody, and that could set up for pretty decent feud.
Whew, that's gonna be some major heat on him. But then you see what that happened on this past week's on Raw. Roman obliterated this man on the promos. He literally just said, your daddy's not here anymore.
I mean, Theory's promos are basically the same thing every week, and who knows with having Triple H under control, Triple H at creative. Who knows if they'll keep going with the way they're doing Theory. And also, they need to change his name. Also, they need to have him have like a first name. They need to call him
Austin back.
Yeah, I don't know why they, Theory, that doesn't scream WWE champion to me.
No, that just it's cringe every time I hear the name. I'm just like, why? Just call him Austin Theory. It just makes more sense. Like, what is a theory? Like, is that come on?
Like, I have a theory. Like, it's just, it's just stupid.
Like, or something.
I just don't really understand with all these whole name changes and stuff, and apparently the Grizzled Young Veterans there with they are the dyad that they're with what's his name in NXT Joe Gacy, which they're under new names, and I just don't understand all these name changes and stuff.
I don't really get them, to be honest. It's just some of them aren't really called for. Some of them make sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Walter getting his name changed, but I can at least say the way he's been booked on the main roster has been pretty solid so far.
I still call him Walter. Like I
Yeah, me
can't call
too.
him Gunther. Like I just can't get behind that. And also, you brought up a good point. You know, kind of like with the mid card titles right now, especially with the Intercontinental Championship, like, and even the U.S. Championship. Like, I sometimes I completely go like, wait, who are these mid card champions? Like, the only reason how I know that Bobby Lashley has the U.S. title is because, well, Theory he keeps mentioning it every week. He's like, I'm going to take the title back. You know, at SummerSlam, I'm taking the U.S. title, and like that's the only reason how I know that Bobby Lashley has a title. But when's the last time? Oh, actually, I think you did tell me.
It
I
was a
think it was
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
2021.
37. Yeah, WrestleMania 37. That's the last time the IC title was defended on a pay per view. Like they need to make these or they need to make these mid card titles mean something again. Because I remember when they meant something. Like the last time I thought the IC title was like very that was like relevant. Maybe it was probably when the Miz held it last or something.
2016.
I think that's the last time that was relevant, or last time the U.S. title was relevant. Maybe it was back in like when Kevin Owens was holding the
Or
title or
John
something,
Cena, really.
or John Cena. Yeah, take it back to when Cena was doing his open challenges. So they need to make these titles more legitimate and actually like mean something. Rather
Yeah,
than like being, oh yeah, they're being like placeholders. They're just carrying around these title belts for this nothing. Um,
that's where Triple H comes in. I feel like.
Yeah,
So
that's like, yeah, most definitely. I feel like that's where
yeah,
Triple H is definitely going to come in. He's going to make more legitimate, stuff with, with more professional wrestling. Which
and he might even. I think some are saying that with Vince gone, you might be able to get Sasha and Naomi
Naomi
back
back.
because both of them have a good relationship with Triple H compared to Vince. So maybe he could convince him to come back. And I think if you were to bring the women's tag titles back, Triple H is the guy to make those titles important. He's the guy that can probably build a division for those women that aren't really in the main event. Or he might even just maybe say, "Oh, well, we might keep the women's tag titles, but implement like a women's intercontinental championship or a women's United States championship." You know, because I kind of feel bad for the women. It's like either you're in the women's title picture or you're doing nothing, or if you're just putting an exhibition match on main event, or you're doing nothing, or you're either
Hmm.
getting fed to the four horsewomen or you're doing nothing.
Would you be surprised to see Charlotte coming back, around SummerSlam here? I wouldn't
I,
be.
that's one of the predictions. I feel like is she might come back maybe during the SmackDown title match and maybe cause Ronda so they can keep their feud. But she kind of teases at some point she's gonna go after Liv Morgan for her champ for that title.
Yeah. I just think especially like you said with the women's division right now and stuff like they. And even with the tag titles, like they just kind of make the like. And did you see how much Sasha Banks is wanting for like how much money she's offering like for people to meet her and stuff? It's like
That I
something
think
like $30,000 or
yeah,
something like that.
30K.
Like 30K. I mean, hey, and people are complaining on social media like, oh, that's too much to meet Sasha Banks, yada yada yada, and all that. Like, hey, I mean,
She's
if
a
Sasha
big
Banks wants to
star,
do that,
so
if she thinks she's worth that much, definitely. I mean, albeit,
yeah,
definitely. Because I mean, like she's the only one of the women's, wrestlers, in WWE that has been on Disney Plus. She was in the Mandalorian.
that really raised her star power even more because she was already good at wrestling, and you put her in like the movie industry, her stock has probably risen even more within the last few months. And now with her possibly being out of WWE, it's just like the doors are open for so many opportunities. She can keep doing movies. The AEW door is open now, so it's just like, what do you do? She can do whatever she wants, really.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got a comment here from T3P podcast. What it do? Hey, what it do, man? Hey, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I don't think I've seen you around on my channel before. So yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also turn on that post notification bell to be notified every time I make a video. And also go follow me on all my social media platforms. Go follow me on Twitter, as you can see right there, at the True JSB. And also go subscribe to Kicking It with Leo, and you can see his Twitter right down there. Kicking It with Leo right there. So go follow go subscribe to both of our channels and go follow us on our social media platforms. And thanks for stopping by, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, back to what you're saying, with Sasha Banks and stuff, with her, being in the movie industries right now, like it just raises her stock so much more. Because you see any other, I mean, other than like Batista or like, but he's not, doing anything with professional wrestling right now. But do you see any other wrestlers in the movie industry other than like John Cena or The Rock?
Well, I mean, Roman, he made a little cameo in a little Fast and Furious movie. He made a cameo in there.
Mm-hmm.
Liv Morgan, she even announced she's gonna be in some movie coming up this year as well. So that's something to be on the lookout for. So maybe if she ever wasn't doing wrestling, she can definitely do movies. I mean, she talks about how much she loves horror movies and stuff like that. So I mean, I feel like that's a good spot for her. You have different things for wrestlers. Like it's not for some of these people, they have things they can fall back on, but some really don't.
Mm-hmm.
So for the ones that do, they kind of take advantage of their other things that they can do. So it's only a matter of time, I feel like.
Oh yeah, but most definitely. And like you're talking about, with the women's division, maybe, with the tag titles, maybe that, they just have, where all three brands, they can float back and forth to all three brands, even like NXT, SmackDown, Raw,
Maybe
with
even NXT UK.
NXT UK. I mean, to be honest,
They don't have a
NXT
title
UK,
division.
they don't really have a whole lot of tag division over. I mean, except for like the men's stuff, but like
Yeah.
NXT UK, it's hard for me to even watch NXT UK a little bit. I mean, sometimes I try to keep up with what's going on with NXT UK, but like I said, there's so much wrestling on. I
Yeah.
forget, like, oh, NXT UK is on.
I
Like there
don't
was,
really watch it like that. Like I used to. I used to watch it like maybe like 2019, but like recently I only watch like if there's like a big match happening or if it's like a title match happening or something.
exactly like because there was a point, like it was like a few months ago. I go like, I'm gonna watch every week of NXT UK, and then like I'm not watching as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I watch the big matches. Like, if someone says, "Oh yeah, there's a great match," I'll go check it out. Like, if there's like a NXT Women's UK title online, or the NXT UK titles online, I'll go check it out. But other than that, I really don't watch NXT UK much anymore.
No.
And it's just like they don't really promote it very well either, in my opinion. But uh, yeah, like you said, like with the whole women's division, maybe as Triple H being under control, being in control of, I feel like this can help out the women's division quite a bit, and hopefully they don't, have the four horsewomen, come, revolving around the top, like especially with Charlotte. People are going to give Charlotte her flag, because she's Flair and stuff. She's going to be always around the top. I hope they don't always do that, because like I just like hate Charlotte so much sometimes. I really do.
I don't blame you, man. I feel the same way. It's just like you have these other women that would, if you put somebody up against Charlotte, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fans, they're gonna be scared or like upset because they know how they book Charlotte. She always goes over everybody when sometimes she doesn't need to, and that's one of the things I'm kind of fearful of when you have Liv Morgan being a champion, especially with the fans behind her, and you put her up against Charlotte. The story's there because you can go back to 2019 and say, oh, if you don't remember, she had a match with Charlotte. She lost, and she said when she came back, she was going to be a different person. So you could have a story there to say, oh, there's a story because Liv Morgan went through a transformation because of that loss to Charlotte. So you can have her get her win back over Charlotte, and that would definitely cement her as a main event player.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. But so yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Any more news you want to talk about?
So this is a question I just thought about. So with Triple H running things, if you're looking at the current landscape for both men's and women's, who are some people that you want to see get pushed more from the men's side and the women's side as well to get more opportunities with Triple H being in control here?
Thinking off the top right now, like definitely, I would like to see Sam do something more like Sami Zayn. I mean, make him more like how he used to be.
That old
Like
Sami Zayn I miss.
I miss old Sami Zayn. Like and maybe these small or maybe like even a person like Ricochet. I like to see
He
him go.
definitely can use some love. I mean, you see how he kind of was booked under Triple H in NXT. He was the North American champion. He had a lengthy reign with that title. He can I definitely feel like he's one of those stars. Like he could be the next Rey Mysterio. I kind of see parallels there just a little bit because he's one of those guys I feel like should be at the top of the card. But I feel like it's because of his size and the way his promos. You can easily fix some of those things. It's like you can easily slap a manager with him and not think he'll be good. Or you can just have some of these people who don't talk and just let the in-ring work do the talking for them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely, I do agree with that. But who are some people that you have in mind?
Ricochet is one of them. Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura. I would love to see him finally get the world championship. On the women's side, this is going to probably make some people upset. People are going to get upset. But hey, is everybody has their own opinion. And she's been there for so long. But I feel like she was brought up too early. But I think with Triple H's help, she might do good. And that's Dana Brooke.
That's interesting. I mean, I'm looking at the roster right now on WWE.com, okay?
Okay.
And really, when I look at the roster here, I mean, I see, it shows Naomi Rayer, like, and you got Natalia, you got Raquel Rodriguez. I like to call Gonzalez still. I mean, it still shows Sasha Banks on here. You got Shayna Baszler. Who else?
Ooh,
Shotzi.
that's a good one.
Xia Li, it still shows her on here. Shotzi is the one that I would like to see more utilized more because I feel like, I mean, sometimes one of my buddies on the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast likes to call her Shitsy Black Fart because sometimes, and then she did botch a little bit. I mean, there were sometimes where I wasn't the biggest fan of her.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and especially in a match like that, I mean, it's to be expected sometimes. You can't really just bash somebody just because they made a mistake.
I mean, I would like to see Lacey Evans utilized a little bit better because, like, when I remember back when they were started, bringing her back, doing some promos with her. Like, man, this is gonna be great to see, Lacey Evans. Let me see who else. Maybe I'm trying to think of some people. I'm not really a big fan of Carmella. Like,
she's okay. Zelina Vega, I feel like she can do good. I feel like,
and the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of Carmella right now is basically because of Corey Graves. Like, every time I hear Corey Graves on commentary, talking about Carmella, like, it's just
wedding celebration and this and that. It's like annoying.
Like, it's just terrible. Like, I know you guys are together. I understand that. But can you please quit talking about yourselves? Like, I just hate I hate Corey Graves on commentary. Like, I liked him, a while back. But like, I just hate him on commentary.
I was still wrestling though. I was kind of a huge fan of what he was doing in NXT early on.
I was hoping that Corey Graves would join the Judgment Day or something like that.
Speaking of Judgment Day, do you think Dominic will turn heel at SummerSlam? I think maybe Triple H didn't want to ruin a big moment like that because they kind of feel like if he did that there, it would have just kind of felt like a little bit worse. But I feel like a good moment would be SummerSlam.
You know what? I've been hearing a lot of talks about them turning Dominic Mysterio heel. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. I really don't. Like, go ahead.
I said my only thing is I get why some people don't want him to turn him heel because like you're turning your father that would look disgusting and it would kind of upset a lot of people. But my only thing is a lot of people can make a good point. He needs to get away from his father and blaze his own path and do things on his own. He can't keep being a part or just being known as just Ray's son all the time. He needs to get out of that shadow and really start going on his own, facing people within his ranks or even testing himself against these other bigger opponents who have bigger name value. Like, I can definitely see him being the future of the wrestling business, but that starts with him getting out of his father's shadows.
Yeah, I definitely could say that, but like it's been talked about for so long ago, like, oh, that Dominic Mysterio was going to turn heel. Like it was back like in 2020 or sometime, when Dominic showed up, like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
he's.
was.
I mean, it's been a lot. I've been hearing a lot of this for a while, with Dominic turning heel. Like until I see it, like
Yeah,
I don't know if I really want to see the heel turn, but I mean, he did make some pretty good points with him. Like stepping away from his father and stuff. I feel like what would really benefit Dominic Mysterio with it, I think it would benefit him to go to NXT because
only if Triple H is running it for sure. I definitely could see him going to NXT. Basically, put him up against some bigger fees. Maybe put him up against Cameron Grimes. Maybe have him face who are some other people down there? Santos Escobar or Tony D'Angelo or maybe even Braun Breaker. Who knows? And with Apollo Crews being down there, there's some other people that can possibly come to NXT. I mean, they're kind of it's not as much as it used to be. There's depth, but not enough depth. If I feel, in my opinion. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about newsworthy? Is there anything else you think that's newsworthy? I was kind of looking on Wrestling Inc. right now. I don't really see much anything else for newsworthy. Um, but there is a lot of stuff going on in wrestling right now. I mean, especially last week there was, like I said, so much news that broke. With Vince McMahon's retirement. As Triple H being, like I said, this whole video was like talking about Vince McMahon and Triple H being in control. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I think the future is bright with wrestling right now.
yeah.
It really is with Triple H being at the head of the realm, and see what happens here. But yeah, do you want to let everybody else tell everybody where they can find you at?
So my YouTube name is Kicking It with Leo. I do wrestling content. I do gaming reactions. Horror content is going to be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm doing videos almost really every day. Almost, I'm doing videos Mondays for Raw, NXT occasionally. I'm trying to do more NXT. I do AEW every week. I'm gonna start doing some reactions to Impact to fill my Thursdays up, and then Fridays I'm doing SmackDowns, and now with pay-per-views I'll be doing predictions and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all those different things. If you're a wrestling fan, you should be subscribing to my channel and his channel as well, or you will get chopped to your sleep by Walter.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. You just don't. You don't want that to happen at all. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, go down in the description below. You can find his channel down there. You can find, the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast down there. Go subscribe to them as well. I'm on that podcast. And probably, maybe tomorrow or Friday. I don't know exactly what day I'm going to be doing it, but I'm going to be doing predictions for SummerSlam. So stay tuned for that. Probably Leo will be back on that. We'll
Yeah.
got some things in works with that. So we'll probably see him back. You'll see him back on my channel more. As well as I'm going to be doing some more news type of videos, throughout the week and stuff. Maybe towards like the end of the week. I'm still in the works for like what I want to call my like videos, like from like my news topics and stuff. I'm still in the works about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms: Twitter at the True JSB, Instagram the same thing. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button or super kick it, whatever. Or chop it, whatever you want to do,
And
But
one more thing before we leave, and this is
go ahead.
an announcement, and this includes you. So I will be live streaming SummerSlam this weekend. I think this is my first time, doing a live stream since WrestleMania. And I will, for my first guest, it will be the True JSB as my guest for SummerSlam.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm down to do that. Yeah. We'll definitely be in talks for more. Yeah. But yeah, definitely go, check out his live stream for SummerSlam. That's gonna be a good thing to do. Like I said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video. So you don't have to go like, oh, when's Juggernaut making a new video? Well, you already know because you already have them on my notifications. You already have everything on. And I hope you guys like my new intro I made. I just kind of made that, made that at the last second here. So hopefully you guys enjoy that and like my new graphics I got going on. And there's gonna be more great things coming up here right on the Juggernaut channel. But without further ado, this is me. This is Leo, and this is Juggernaut saying peace out. And I will talk to you guys in my next video, whenever that may be. So